Hi there guys, Luis from Vintage Action. I hope you guys are all well. And today guys, I'm bringing you Cyborg Soldier, the Ultimate Weapon from 2008, starring this guy right here, Rich Franklin, former UFC middleweight champion, Bruce Greenwood, that you guys might know from Passenger 57, National Treasure, iRobot, Tiffani Thiessen from Saved by the Bell, and this one was directed by John Stead, director, like a Canadian director and stunt coordinator. He worked in movies like RoboCop, the remake, Red, The Long Kiss Goodnight. He was like the stunt coordinator for many famous movies in the 90s and the 2000s, and he directed Cyborg Soldier from 2008. This is obviously a new image film, straight to video, from the 2000s, and it's one that I do enjoy and a movie that I did like. And I know it didn't became like a cult classic or an instant favorite or anything. Obviously, this is not from the 80s or the 90s. It's from the 2000s. But, there are a lot of movies in the 2000s, action movies, martial art movies, that it became big since then. So this one, basically, it was like released literally like 18 years ago. I mean, time flies. I remember like watching this on TV, like around 2010, something like that, on cable when I was back in Portugal, and after that, obviously, I got this DVD, and this one right here is like a Dutch DVD that I got this one kind of cheap, or Rare Waves UK. I got this one roughly 4 years ago, something like that. It cost me roughly like £7. So this one can easily be found like online, because I think there is like this Dutch DVD. You have like a German like DVD as well. There is a French DVD that was released as well, and probably this one was released in US as well. It's one that you can easily find on the streaming platforms, like Prime, Plex, Tubi, on HD. This one that I know of has never been released on Blu-ray or anything. It was only released on DVD, but again, this is from 2008, so the digital era, so the DVD looks just fine. It's widescreen. It's not like a 80s or 90s like DVD that the picture quality, it's rubbish. So the only way you can get this one to have it on your collection, have an actual physical copy, it's a DVD that, unfortunately, this one was never released officially here in UK by any boutique label that releases DVDs or Blu-ray. But if you are in the UK, you can easily get this actually like Dutch DVD that I'm going to talk about. So you can, this is the main menu. It's a cool like main menu, as you can see. And again, this is a straight-to-video movie, straight to digital, and one that I think it's fun and is entertaining. I understand some people and even some friends that I have that didn't enjoy this one much, but and I actually did. Obviously, in the late 80s, beginning of 90s, the Cyborg movies were super like trending and popular, because you had Cyborg that gave origin to sequels. You have Nemesis from Albert Poon as well. So there were so many like movies with that team, like Universal Soldier, many movies that you'll see like Cyborgs, right? So, but in the 2000s, it's something that was like, in a way, abandoned, right? The Cyborg movies were big in the 80s, and then in the 90s, you had also the Cyborg Cop trilogy. So it was super popular, like Cyborg movies in the 80s and the 90s. That's why when I saw this, when this one was on TV, I watched this one on TV. I said, "Oh, I know Rich Franklin, because I'm a big UFC fan as well." And this was at his peak. He was like he kind of retired around that time. He was still fighting in 2008, right? So he was in his peak physical condition. And one thing for sure you're going to get in this movie, and someone that is legit and knows how to fight a guy that is like super in shape and is a former UFC champion. So if you have a fight scene in a movie when a guy was a former UFC champion, is going to be legit. And again, they put in on a nice cast in this one because you have Bruce Greenwood as well. That Greenwood was born to play this type of government like type roles. And you have the sweetheart, the beautiful, like, Tiffani Thiessen, that is from Saved by the Bell. And I think she did great in this movie playing the sheriff. And obviously, Rich Franklin, it's like the cyborg in this one. And I saw a few comments online, people saying, oh, glad that he didn't talk much. He doesn't talk much in this movie because his acting is awful. Let me tell you, if you guys know him, he works for like One FC in Asia, right? That is like it's big in Asia. It's like a UFC from Asia, right? And he's a commentator there. He's like, and let me tell you, this guy knows how to talk. This guy is like eloquent, and this guy is legit. He's not like someone people say, oh, he's a former UFC fighter. It's some guy that is intelligent, and it's a very like bright guy. He's not just like muscles and fighting skills. That's why I think it was a little bit unfair when he's like people criticizing him like for this movie because it was his first role, and it's people said, oh, I'm glad he played the cyborg. He doesn't talk much in the movie because otherwise it would have been awful. And even Tiffani Thiessen, she was praised for even the critics that they super criticize this movie. People said, oh, Greenwood was great because he's always great playing this type of government like type roles. Even Thiessen, she was great playing like the sheriff. And then you have the cyborg, the former UFC fighter that obviously knows how to fight, has a great physique, and everything. But let me tell you, he knows how to talk. He's a very fluent man. And if you guys know him, if you are not UFC fans, you might not know him, right? But if you guys know him and you know that he's a commentator, he works for One FC, that is a big organization like in Asia. You know that he knows how to talk. He's like, and literally, he's not someone just like a former fighter that has no, microphone like skills or anything, because he does. And I think he did well in the movie. His acting was not as bad as people say. That's obviously like my opinion. Basically, he plays a cyborg that escapes from the facility that where he was created, basically. And with the help of the local sheriff that is played by Tiffani Thiessen, he tries to run away from the dangerous like scientist that created him, in this case like Bruce Greenwood, that is the main guy, right, responsible for this like for this program. And the only thing in this movie that I wish we could have add more is like more action, because there is two great fight scenes, and obviously you have Rich Franklin, and this guy was 100% legit. He's a former UFC like middleweight champion. He's not just a former like UFC fighter. He's a former champion. And again, this was in 2008. He was still active fighting. I think he retired a couple of years after that. So he was in physical like top condition. Man, he's still in great shape right now. That's why if you see him now, like almost 20 years after this movie was released, you can check many interviews, and he still trains, and he's super like great shape, and a super smart guy, intelligent, and you can see his like conversations on YouTube. A guy that you can have a conversation about like many like subjects, not just like fighting. And he's literally a guy that you can have like literally a conversation. Very intelligent, very bright, and that's why I say like it was a little bit unfair, the criticism that he had in this movie, saying, "Oh, it was his first acting role, so a former UFC fighter, so he's going to be rubbish." It's just okay. He has the fighting skills and the physique, but when it comes to the acting, and even nowadays you see a lot of guys in UFC, they have those microphone skills, right? And they're guys that are very eloquent, that know what they say, very fluent talking as well. So those were the days, back in the days, that like a fight, or even like guys like bodybuilders, and they were seen as like people like that could not like do anything apart from being good, and their specific like art, right, the fighting or the bodybuilding world. So but nowadays that's not the case. You can be good in many other arts, not just one you are like an expert in. And again, but I was saying that the only thing that in this movie I think we could have add more is like more fights in this movie, because the only thing is strange is like the director John Stead is a guy that was a stunt coordinator, worked in so many famous movies, and you have in your hands like Rich Franklin, that a guy that was a former UFC champion, and you have two great fight scenes. There is some action, but I understand some people say through the middle of the movie there is like a period there, like 10-15 minutes. Of course, he's trying to escape from the scientists. They are trying to get him back to the lab, and there is no action there. But the acting was really nice, especially from Tiffani Thiessen. She did great playing the sheriff in this movie. So overall, it's a movie that I like. I watched it again, like I said to you guys, like around 2010. And then a few years ago, 3-4 years ago, I got this DVD. I watched it again, and I said again, I like this movie. I just wish that this one had more action. Of course, this is straight to video. This is super, super, super low budget. Of course, it's not going to win an Oscar. But if you guys that watch Canon movies, New Image movies, in the 90s, like PM Entertainment movies, you didn't watch the movies for actually the acting skills of the actors, right? So that's the thing. And again, this is a New Image movie, and I'm a big fan of New Image. So even if it was the 2000s or the 90s, every time I'll see the New Image logo, I said I need to watch this movie. And I always like Cyborg movies. Like I was always a big fan of Cyborg, like Nemesis from as well. The Cyborg cop movies, I was always a big fan. And again, this is another one that you are action sci-fi aficionados, you would like probably like this one. Again, this is not like the original Cyborg or the Cyborg cops. I understand that, and I understand that some of you guys would have wanted more action, but the action you have here, it's really nice. It's like legit. And again, I rewatched this one like last week again, and I said this is not actually a bad movie. Obviously, I'm not going to say it's the best movie I ever seen. It's not like my favorite like Cyborg movie, because that would have to be like Cyborg, or even the Cyborg Cops, or even Nemesis. There's so many other Cyborg movies that I like better than this one, but it doesn't mean I dislike this one. And again, in the 2000s, these movies kind of like were like forgotten, right? Just brushed under the carpet. In the 80s and the 90s, they were great, and the 2000s they kind of disappeared. So it was nice to have like a Cyborg movie in the 2000s. When it comes to the DVD, again, the picture quality looks just fine. And again, you can find this one easily here, like on Amazon. The Dutch DVD, the German, the French, all of them have the original English audio, even though if they are dubbed in French or Germany. So they have many options. I'm not sure this one was released in US. Probably it was. Here in the UK, it was not. But let me just show you some... you guys can see the picture quality to this one. This is like the main menu of this one, and here, as you can see here, like a New Image. Let me see if this here focus. You can see here like a New Image film, the legendary New Image that we grew up watching and we loved. And Again, this one here is like you have like Dutch subtitles that you can remove, obviously, so you can just watch the movie in English. But this one doesn't have like any. This one doesn't have any like English subtitles. This is like just the Dolby Digital, probably like advertisement in the beginning of the movie, and then the movie actual starts. And you can see even here like the new image, a film by John Stead, and you can see here in association with new image, and again the picture quality is just fine because this is a movie from 2007, so you have to expect that in the digital world, so it's like widescreen, so it's just fine. And yeah, I'll pause it here. You can see Rich Franklin, and you can see here the beautiful like Tiffani Thiessen there, and here you can see him trying to escape from the Bruce Greenwood guys, and there you can see Bruce Greenwood on the right, that was in so many movies like Passenger 57 and many others. And this one, as you can see here, you have the English audio, but these Dutch subtitles can be removed, and but you don't have English subtitles, but you can remove them. As you can see, this is like a short like movie. Basically, this is 1 hour 21 minutes, as you can see. I mean, with the final credits, probably it's 1 hour 23 minutes. But the actual movie is basically 1 hour 20 minutes. So it's a short movie. So yeah, guys, Cyborg Soldier, the Ultimate Weapon, from 2008. Let me know what you guys think about this one. If you did like this one, if you guys didn't like this one at all, if you say it's like a cheesy, like rubbish, like super low budget, like a B movie, or if you really enjoy this one, even though it's like a B movie straight to video. You have strong performances by Tiffani Thiessen. Greenwood is always great as the villain, and you have a legit former UFC champion that I think he was great in this one, even though a lot of people say he was not. So an enjoyable like a Cyborg movie, not the best Cyborg movie ever, but enjoyable, and I did like it, and I do like this one. So you guys let me know what you think about Cyborg Soldier from 2008, if this one is one of your favorites, if you guys own this DVD as well, or any other DVD that has been released around the world, wherever you guys live. And yeah, let me know what you think about Cyborg Soldier from 2008, starring Rich Franklin. And as always, I'll be with you guys soon, bringing you all the action that you guys like from the 80s, from the 90s, and not only from the 2000s as well. And keep strong. I'll be with you guys soon.